Good day. I'm Marini Griffith, and this is Living with Depression. Do you constantly feel unexplainably sad? Have lingering feelings of unfulfillment even though you have everything you want? Have no will to do anything that once brought you joy? You could be suffering from depression. Although depression is now a pretty commonly known mental illness, it is still heavily stigmatized. The American Psychiatric Association acknowledges that more than half of people with mental illnesses do not receive help for their disorders. People, more often than not, avoid or delay seeking treatment for their disorders due to concerns about being treated differently, fears of losing their jobs. This is because stigma, prejudice, and discrimination against people with mental illnesses is still very real today. 1 in 10 Americans suffer from depression. So, as an American, you probably know one person, whether it's closely or just in passing, whether you know or you do not, who has depression. It is important to note that there are multiple kinds of depression. But when it comes to the effects, 2 of the most important factors of depression are how depression works in the brain and how it affects an individual's life. Now, there are 7 different types of depression: major depressive disorder, persistent depressive disorder, bipolar disorder, postpartum depression, premenstrual dysphoric disorder, seasonal affective disorder, and atypical depression. For now, let's just stick with the umbrella term of depression. The American Psychiatric Association defines depression as a common and serious medical illness that negatively affects how you feel, the way you think, and how you act. Depression causes feelings of sadness and the loss of interest in activities that you once enjoyed. It can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems and can decrease your ability to function at work, at school, and at home. Something that is not commonly known about depression is that it's not just low lows. Depressive disorders also intend to include something called mania, which are mood swings and extreme emotional highs. Individuals with depressive disorders are often inclined to feel on top of the world or like life is a chore and nothing matters, with no in-betweens. Depression changes the brain more than you think it would. The brain is the most vital organ in the body. It controls everything, but it is also the most sensitive. When left untreated, repeated episodes of depression can cause physical changes to the brain and its functionality. Luckily, professional treatment programs help depression restore functionality and help to improve individuals' mental health and well-being, along with the use of medication. Research conducted by Harvard Health suggests that depression does not spring from simply having too much or too little brain chemicals. Rather, there are many possible causes of depression, including faulty mood regulation by the brain, genetic vulnerability, and stressful life events. It is believed that several of these forces interact to bring on depression. So, how does depression affect life circumstances? Well, let's start with the symptoms. The first symptom of depression is issues sleeping. It can cause individuals to oversleep or undersleep, depending on the person, really. People often become lethargic while depressed and have no will to get up out of bed, or they develop insomnia, which is no matter how much they want to go to sleep, they simply can't. Next, individuals become angry. The buildup of negative emotions to oneself, along with not knowing why they feel this way, manifests anger in many people. People with depression also tend to see a change in appetite. Individuals will turn to overeating as a form of comfort or undereating just because what's the point? Lastly, you say changes in thinking. With depression, people's judgment becomes clouded. When you have all these emotions flying around and the chemicals in your brain are imbalanced, it makes sense that an individual's thinking isn't as clear as it should be. When it comes to social interactions, individuals with depression tend to be a little bit more closed off. It is often seen that depressed individuals will try to avoid social interactions altogether the deeper they get into the illness and their depressive episodes. Depression is a very real illness, and it should be treated as such. Just because it cannot be seen does not mean that it is not there. The different type of depressions may manifest as different symptoms. It is important to treat depression as early as possible because it can have negative effects on the brain and an individual's overall well-being. It is important to know the symptoms of depression so that you or your loved one can be diagnosed. Let us remember that though depression is an invisible disease, it is mighty and it is deadly. Over 700,000 people a year die to suicide induced by depression. It is important to know about the illness so that research and treatment centers can continue to be funded and so that you or your loved one can one day be treated. Thank you.